How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ben Burnside Show, coming at you from Fresno. I am here for a movie review of a movie I just saw once again tonight. This is a childhood movie that I watched when I was a kid, and I always loved it. It was a guilty pleasure of mine, at least. I don't feel like it's a guilty pleasure. I don't think it's just that. It is for me, I guess, but I feel to me it feels like just a good movie, frankly. And it's a movie called Wild America. It was released in 1997 at the prime of Jonathan Taylor Thomas's career as a Marsh. He plays a young kid named Marshall in this movie, and I think the brothers' names are Marty and Mark. Those are his older brothers. I didn't realize that all three of the brothers had names that start with an M. But yeah, I just think that this was a really good movie, and I'm just motivated to give a review of this tonight. Um, ah, so I watched. I saw. This is again like a childhood movie of mine. I saw this when I was, God, like I was when I was a little kid, and I've seen it multiple times when I was a little kid. Uh, I remember watching a trailer for it when I was a kid. And I was like, I gotta get this movie. This movie looks awesome. And they said Born to Be Wild. I thought this movie was called Born to Be Wild, but I forgot it's called Wild America. It's been it's been a really long time since I've seen this movie, like many years. So I watched it with my grandpa tonight, and I was like, man, I could totally relate to this movie in a way because it's just it's about these kids that are from Arkansas and they work for their dad. They're not really out of like in college or anything yet. So I guess age wise is different because I'm older, but um, they want to go out on the road and adventure. They're into wildlife. They're into the wild. They want to document things and explore. And this does sound like a kids movie, as how Roger Ebert said in his review. I'll get to that in a sec, but I really thought that this movie was great. I really did. Um, the brothers they wanted to get out of their house, but their father they didn't want them to go out and about in the wilderness and explore and just experience life. He want the father of those three. He wanted them to continue on in the automotive business that the father created for himself in his life. But the kids didn't want that, especially the older kids. In Marty, he didn't want it the most, and he's the oldest. And Mark, is at odds with his father a little bit in this movie, and because of that, uh, but Marty and Mark suddenly saw a camera, and they were invested into they got the idea of filming in the wild. They were into the idea of making like a documentary, like a nature documentary, basically. And these are brothers that are. Takes place in the '60s, so uh, the dad's hesitant, but he agrees, to get this out of their system, and because the mother also encourages them, and they're off. The three are off into the wild in different parts of the country, documenting different animals, with their primary goal being to document bears, and we also see that in the movie. Um, Before I go any further, I think now is a good time to kind of mention uh, a review I saw of the movie because I was real. I like to do that. I like to listen to reviews of what other people thought of the movie after I see a movie at home. And I happened to see that Siskel and Ebert uh, did a review on it on their show decades ago when it was released. So over 2 decades ago now, in '97, and somebody happened to upload it on YouTube. I think the YouTube account, his name is like Tool 487. So thank you, Tool 487. I really appreciate that. So definitely, definitely appreciate that and the opportunity of of Oh, I got some news about some government news, but I'll get to that in a different video. Um, Tool, what was I going to say? Tool 487, thank you for the YouTube video of Cisco and Niebuhr here. Let's go ahead and take a listen to what Cisco and Niebuhr had to say about this movie as I get to it here. Okay, here we go.
Liked it better. Okay. Our next movie is Wild America, the story of three teenage brothers in the 1960s who buy a used movie camera and hit the road looking for footage of wild animals. The movie says it's based on the real-life adventures of the Stauffer family, whose members went on to produce the Wild America TV show. But I wish they just said it was fiction because, frankly, there are adventures in this movie that I doubt ever happened.
Mark, get it out of the way! What? No!
Then they go out west to what the movie calls the high country. That explains why there's snow on the ground in August. Well, there is snow up in the mountains, but on the other hand, things that are alive during the summertime climb down below the snow line so they can thaw out. That's what these rattlesnakes should have done.
Timber rattlers. They're drawn in by heat. Well, how do we get over them?
This is a little detail. Who cares, honestly? What did they expect out of this movie?
The cave is filled with hibernating bears, in August, of course, who wake up. Well, either the bears are hibernating or they're not. Let's say they are. It's supposed to be the middle of summer. When does it get warm enough that they don't need to hibernate? Wild America is a film that means well, and children may enjoy its animal hijinks. The actors are likable. A lot of the photography is good to look at, but it all just plain seemed phony to me, as if they'd taken a nucleus of real events and inflated them into tall tales.
Yes,
that's what movies do.
I will say that when the movie hits you with who these people really were, you're brought up short.
You thought it was a total fantasy.
Because of just what you said, which is that it doesn't seem real at any point. And again, little ones may enjoy it, but I sat there through much of the picture thinking, oh, come on, this is silly. There's another element. The treatment of the father. Why do the fathers have to be such jerks? Why do the fathers have to be the ones that don't want to let kids do anything? Why is it always that mom wants to? Can you understand that?
Oddly enough, I thought the father had a certain integrity. He loved his kids. He loved his kids. He wanted the best for them. He didn't know exactly what the best was.
He does come around. And again, the film almost saves itself toward the end. Almost. But it's such a cliche to make the father's instinctive response, no, no, no. Coming up next, Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, our reluctant dance hosts on a cruise ship loaded with senior citizens in the new comedy, Out to Sea.
It's just like the beach at Normandy.
Now on video.
Knee-jerk reaction when I first saw it.
Answer the phone.
I disagree.
Don't open the door. The movie that shocked everyone.
It's a scream, baby.
From the master of fear, Wes Craven. Scream. Rented today.
Assessment of the father there and why the father's always there. At least in my side of the family, for my family at least, it's actually the opposite of the dad encouraging me to do this kind of stuff, and my mom's like, I don't know about that. I love them both, but it's an analysis for sure. That's a good point by Siskel. I don't know. I just gotta say this. What did they expect? What did they expect from this movie? This analysis of a movie like this in the 90s, it makes me wonder, like, if there was a different expectations of true stories in Hollywood back then to today. Because today I feel like me and a lot of other movie fans, we're expecting more and more that, or we are understanding more and more of the idea that these true stories of real life events that are kind of emulated in films these days, they're really dramatized. They're really dramatized a lot to a point, and they're dramatized to where it's like, okay, we get that there's a lot of drama, and they're dramatized a lot to a point where I think there's it's kind of a problem in real life, with real life events. I mean, to where people like they didn't know better at a certain point with true stories, so they kind of expected the drama out of things to be real life, especially for people who were more sheltered, I guess, in life and didn't explore life as much. But I don't know, maybe. So I think, but I think now people are are knowing better, except for kids that are growing up now. But I don't know. We're always going to have idiots, but that's my point is that I wonder if if critics back then, like Cisco and Ebert, if they thought that true stories were a lot more realistic in movies at that point, to where the expectation for realism with true stories is a lot bigger of a deal. So maybe I'll have to explore that when I watch older movies that are based off true stories and kind of go off that point. But I don't know. I just think this whole analysis of this movie from Siskel and Ebert was a bit harsh, frankly. Just a little bit harsh. Yeah, this is a kids movie, really, and it's a kids movie where you're kind of expecting an adventure. Like what do you expect? And frankly, they could have the movie could have done a lot worse in really overemphasizing adventure and unrealistic things. So I didn't really agree with their analysis of the movie. And also, I didn't agree with their analysis just based off the fact that I just thought this was a good movie, though, too. I really did. I really thought the heart of this movie was really good. I liked how the movie was. I liked the adventure of the three kids, and I could totally relate to them in wanting to go out for an adventure and just go. And just go and see what life is like. They had a mission. They didn't just go. They didn't just go for the hell of it. They went to because they wanted to film wildlife, and they wanted to see the great wildlife out there. I don't know why they were so motivated to see wildlife, but they were. So that's what drove them, and they wanted to get out. They wanted to get out of that auto shop they were always in, and where the dad expected them to be as they were going to grow up. And so I can totally relate to that, I guess, in that way. Maybe that's why I'm so into this movie, is because I can relate to it. And that's an element too, that I feel like a lot of filmmakers don't put into context for people who watch it, is maybe some people can really relate to what's going on in a movie, or the overall attitude of the story, or something that's going on, like this. So I don't know. I really connected with this movie from the get-go. I still do. They said that this movie's for kids, or more kids like it. I'm 26 years old. I still love this movie. I watched this movie when I was like 10 or maybe even younger. So this movie's awesome, in my opinion, and I recommend it for anybody. So that's what I think. Maybe also I'd be remiss to say that I've watched this movie during the COVID era. We're going into 9 months pretty soon of the COVID shutdown being a thing in the world, really, but I'm talking just about the United States. Maybe that helps to my liking of it too, because I really want to go out. I have family obligations from COVID to be here and take care of family here, but I never really gone out like that, like these kids did in this movie, apparently in this story. So I want that adventure just like they did. But I live in a different time. I'm definitely less inclined, I think, than these kids to go and do it. They really want. By the way this movie tells it, and maybe it was different. They have a different attitude in real life, but it seems like they really wanted to go. Maybe I think, honestly, I feel like I'm less inclined to go out because I don't know. I have an Xbox and a computer, and I guess those nullify my ambitions. Maybe, I don't know. maybe I need to get rid of this this stuff a little bit. So that's my overall take on it. Definitely, when I was done watching the movie, I definitely had this idea, even though I'm really starting to make my schedule busy with 2021 with a nursing program and with already ideas to see my family when I'm off from the program, the weeks I'm off, and also, in seeing, and also doing some things on my spare time when I'm not in the time of the days where I'm not in the nursing program. I still want to make times for vacations and to go just drive, just to go out in the world and see things and to see people. And, my first vacation is to visit my dad. My dad in Utah. He lives there. Financially, it makes more sense for him to live there. And he left for a different reason a couple of years ago. But he has family over there that helps him and stuff. But it's when I go visit him, I don't want to go on a plane. I don't want to fly over there. And I told family this already. I want to get in my car of where I'm at in Fresno and drive from Fresno all the way to Salt Lake City. And I want to take a unique road that I've never been on, and I want to drive through that road. That's what I want to do. I want to do that. It's now granted, I could go on more ambitious vacations in my life down the road, and go even outside the western part of the United States. But I'm taking small steps right now because I don't have the money or the time to really figure it out. And plus, COVID's kind of shutting down everything. There's really no reason to go right now. But I think a drive from here to maybe Vegas or Reno to Salt Lake City, that's some pretty cool shit. I want to do that. I want to do that, and maybe sometimes when I make a stop during that drive out in the mountains or something, I can explore the mountains a little bit, and I can take pictures. I can document like how they documented, and I can really enjoy myself out there. Really enjoy myself out there with other people, and just have a nice life outside of this COVID life, and really have some good experiences. I'm yearning for that, for a bigger life, I guess. So that's my overall thought on it. Man, Wild America. That's pretty dope. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be on my bucket list for 2021, and it's gonna happen. Mark my words. Alrighty, guys. Man, this was a good movie. This was a fucking good movie, though. I am telling you that right now. Don't listen to Siskel and Ebert, at least this time. Actually, they had a good review of Men in Black in this movie, in this same video, and it was they were pretty spot on with the movie, which is also great. It's funny, Men in Black came at the same time as this movie, literally in the same week. What a week! What a week for movies! Wild America and Men in Black, that's a fucking awesome week. Both are now, as of this day and age, 23 years old. Amazing, man. I'm looking forward to watching the rest of Siskel and Ebert's reviews as I watch further videos down the road and see where that takes me. Alrighty, guys, that will do it for this review. Go see Wild America. Don't listen to Siskel and Ebert. Tell them to shut up. This is a good movie. It's a good fucking movie. So go ahead and check this out at your convenience when you have the time. You won't regret it. And what did you guys think of this movie when you saw it? Did you guys like it? Did you guys feel the same as I did? Did you guys like the cameo of Danny Glover in this movie? I thought that was pretty interesting. I didn't put two and two together. I was too young that he was in the movie. And the girl that had the bear mark, is that the chick from Roseanne? Let me know down in the comment section below so I can hear your thoughts. And also, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel if you wish to do so at Ben Burnside, where you can watch a bunch of other reviews, discussions, and reactions, many reactions, on my YouTube channel of different trailers and videos that I watch. So go ahead and check that out when you can, and let me know what you think. Alrighty, guys. Oh, yes, and go ahead and subscribe to my other YouTube channel, Garage Guys Sports Talk, where I talk about sports, and my other, where I talk about sports in a garage, brain fart, late at night. Shut up. No, late at night. So go ahead and check that out, and where we talk about sports, predictions, and all that kind of stuff. And we banter, and we have a couple beers while we're at it. So go ahead and check that out if you're a sports fan. You can listen to the audio versions of that show on Anchor, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, respectively, with their own exclusive content over there as well. Alrighty, guys, that will do it. Thank you for joining me for this awesome review of Wild America. You guys have a wild 2021 as we're in the new year, but stay safe and stay healthy at the same time. And I'll do some videos for you in the meantime. Alrighty, guys. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Catch you on the burn side. See you guys later. Peace.